Alright, so we're going to be going over some circle part definitions before we start the second part of this unit. We just wrapped up volume. If you have not completed the volume quiz, I really need you to go in and do that. The link is on the plan book. Okay, so just kind of following along with your notes, and please know that some of the letters are not going to be the same, but that's okay. We're going to go over some parts of a circle that you absolutely need to know. So, let me see if I can get this to work. Okay, so the first couple definitions, we're going to be talking about a circle. So a circle is a set of all points in a plane that are equidistant from a given point called the center of the circle. So we have point P here, which is a center, and then the circle itself is just made up of points that are the same distance away from P. So we would say a circle with center P is called circle P, and then this is the notation for that. It would just be a circle with a dot and then P. Okay? The next word that we're going to talk about is the radius. The distance from the center to a point on the circle is the radius of the circle. So segment DP is a radius. Segment DP is a radius. Also, we can see that PG as well as PH are all radii of this circle. The distance across the circle through its center is the diameter. So from G to H, that would be our diameter here. Two circles are congruent if they have the same radius. Now, these two terms are ones that you guys are most familiar with. You guys have been working with radius and diameter a lot. Now, also, please keep in mind that the radius is half the length of the diameter. So if we have the diameter, we would just divide it by 2. All right, the next one is a word that you are probably not familiar with, is a chord. A chord is a segment whose endpoints are on the circle. So this is not a ray, this is not a line. We have an actual line segment that both ends are on the circle. So if we look at MN, we can see that M is on the circle and N is on the circle. Therefore, the MN is a chord. Now, a diameter is a special chord. It is because it goes through the center, but it is also a chord. So OP is a diameter and a chord. All right, a secant, and this is not the best picture here, but a secant, if we look at DE, a secant is a line that goes through the circle, so that it doesn't stop on the circle. Okay, so it can be a ray. It can also be a line as well, but it does not. It can have one endpoint on the circle, but it cannot have two, because if it has two, that makes it a chord. A tangent is a line in the plane of a circle that intersects the circle in exactly one point. Point B is called a point of tangency. So if we look right here, we can see that this line does not go inside the circle. It just kind of just swings on by the circle, intersects it at point B, and then keeps on going. An example I give of that is when you drop somebody off at the airport. You don't go in, you just swing by the curb and drop them off and keep on driving, so you don't have to pay for parking. Okay, so that's what a tangent line is. It just swings by, drops somebody off, and then keeps on moving. So let's just do a quick overview here. Segment AB. We can look at segment AB. We see an endpoint A, endpoint B. That makes it a chord. Segment AD, we can see endpoint here, endpoint here. It goes through the center, so it is a chord, but it's also a special chord. It's a diameter. CD goes from the center to a point on the circle, therefore this is a radius. Line EG does not go inside the circle. It just swings by, intersects the circle at F, and then keeps on going, so that makes it a tangent. Line GK goes through the circle. Okay, it goes through the circle, so that makes it a secant. Okay, and that's really all we're going to be covering right now. If you know secant, chord, tangent, diameter, and radius, you should be in good shape for this unit.